As the Pixel 9 series is out now, I just want to revisit the Google Pixel 8 Pro to see if the cameras with the brand new Android 15 beta have improved. So let's get started. To make it more interesting, I'm recording here with the Pixel 8 Pro right now and want to check it out and compare it with the one rank higher ranked Xiaomi 14 Pro, and then the top number one device, one at least of the top number one devices, the Oppo Find X7 Ultra. And yeah, this is what you can see here right now, the camera of the Pixel 8 Pro. Remember what I was saying about the Pixel 8 Pro, too high of a contrast, I look like a ghost a little bit. Is that still the case? Walking now with the sun in the background, is my face dark? We will see it. How good is the audio quality here as well? Now my face illuminated by the sun. What do you think about this one here? And of course I have the possibility to go to the ultra wide angle just by tapping a button, and it zooms out to the ultra wide angle. Another critique that I remember clearly was that when switching cameras, especially going to the zoom camera, it zooms in, it's totally pixelated for a split second, not a split second, actually a bit longer, and then it switches to the zoom lens. Is this still the case with the brand new update? Let's check it out. We have a 5x zoom, so I think we can go in here and first of all 2 times, no problem, 5 times. And then still the issue, as you see here, you can go back here 1 times, and now again 5 times. It's now a bit quicker, as you see here, but there's still like a bit of a switch there. Granted, it's not as problematic as on the Xperia 1 Mark 6 or 1 Mark 5, but it's still something that Google, I think, should improve, especially from the ultra wide angle to this one. Yeah, it's noticeable. But yeah, what do you think about the video here? Now the Xiaomi 14 Pro, and yeah, sorry for the bad audio quality, but this is still an issue on the Xiaomi 14 Pro, so I don't want to not mention it. The external wireless microphones, for example, external microphones in general, are sounding very bad on this Leica-powered device. How does it handle the sun in the background there, and my face, and the exposure there? How good is stabilization and colors? How does it compare with the Pixel 8 Pro? Even now with the sun illuminating my face, hitting my face directly, and walking around a little bit. And then of course we can also zoom out here. We have a slider here instead of a button. What do you think about this one here on the 14 Pro? And then of course the 14 Pro handles because we don't have a button there, the zoom test pretty nice. So you can see I can just zoom in 1, 2, 3, 5, and we are at 10 times already zoom. Let's go back to 5 times. There we go. 5 times zoom. You don't even notice it's switching between the 3 point. What is it here? It's switching. But with the zoom, you can see it's like only in the colors slightly. But because we don't have a 5x zoom lens, of course, this is like pointless, is it? But at least it looks to be much smoother in switching between the cameras. So the 3x camera that it's using right now, and now it switched to the 1x camera, as you can see here. Actually, it's a 3x camera, probably a 2.6x camera, something like this, but switching here because of the OIS at 2.8, something like this. And now what I deem the best video camera smartphone out there, the Oppo Find X7 Ultra. How does it handle the backlit situation here? It has like a little bit of a reflective kind of surface around the camera, but does it handle this a little bit better then? We have to see. How does it handle the very harsh sunlight? There are probably highlight spots there on my face for sure. And how good is the stabilization? Audio quality, I know already, is pretty good. We can also switch to the ultra wide angle by tapping a button there. This is the ultra wide angle, so how well does this look like? And yeah, we go and try out the zooms. We have 2 periscope zoom lenses there. How smooth is this? So let's go to 2x first, and then we go to 3x. See almost no difference there, and then we can go to 6x, like a very slight. Let's go back to 1x and directly to 6x, very slight kind of delay. on screen, 3x, 6x. I think the Oppo Find X7 Ultra still is king in terms of videography. What do you think? You can also go to ultra wide angle there from this one. 3x, ultra wide angle, 6x. Very, very nice and smooth indeed. So here we have the videos. On the left we have the Pixel 8 Pro, on the right we have the Xiaomi 14 Pro. And it's quite surprising for me that it looks and appears to be that the Pixel 8 Pro fixed the issue with the too high contrast on the main camera sensor. As you see here, we even have a little bit less contrast than we have on the Xiaomi 14 Pro. So this is a very, very good indeed kind of upgrade here. And when we go in and let's take a look at full screen here, we can see that it's not so sharpened up anymore as it was before. And compare it with the Xiaomi 14 Pro, you can see that the 14 Pro is a bit too sharpened up. When you take a look at the background, you can see, yes, it's a little bit better colors there on the 14 Pro, but almost the same there. Even if you take a look at the rest here, if the backlit situation, here you can see a little bit of the old Pixel style with the backlit situation where it's highering the contrast and making me look a little bit weird. But here as well. But let's see how the Xiaomi 14 Pro handles this. It has like this little bit of haze there as well. I think it's putting this like contrasty look just to fight the haze there, which is yeah, something that you might prefer or not. Highlight handling, I think the highlights are a bit handled better on the 14 Pro still. We have a bit of hot spots there for sure, and it's getting a bit red. And here it's handling the 14 Pro, it's handling this like a champ. Here we have like overexposure already. And yeah, face color, it's a bit warmer here definitely on the 14, where the Pixel is not doing bad. They're very, very close and similar. Let's go and take a look at the ultra wide angle, especially like the zoom animation for the ultra wide angle here. If you just do this, you can see very nice and smooth zoom animation. It takes a while to correct the exposure. And even now with the sun illuminating my face, hitting my face directly and walking around a little bit. And then of course we can also zoom out here. We have a slider here instead of a button. What do you think about this one here? Then it also takes a while for acquiring the correct exposure. What you will see here is we have a wider field of view on the Pixel than on the Xiaomi, but the Xiaomi already appears to be sharper and the Pixel appears to be muddier. And it's weird because the Pixel here on the right is softer than on the left. So on my left side, basically, or your right side here, you will see it's a bit blurry. And here it's sharper. Either the algorithm is doing something wrong or the lens is fucked up. I don't know. It appears very weird. I can also go in full screen, as you can see. This appears to be, yeah, unsharp, blurry. And here on this side, it is sharp. And the sharpness fall off is harsh. It's a bit higher here. You can see like the distortion going on. It's a lot of distortion on the Pixel 8 Pro. So the center is sharp, but it's not over sharpened, which I like. But I think I appear to be a bit out of focus and the rest here is in focus. And let's compare it with the Xiaomi. The Xiaomi also has a focus fall off and distortion, but it's far less noticeable on those sides. And when you go in here, you can see, yeah, it starts here, roughly not here. And also here, the colors are nicer. It's a bit more sharpened up in general, but at least my face is like also sharped, which is cool. So yes, the Pixel, I think, for the ultra wide angle is doing tremendously worse than the Xiaomi, even though it's such an ultra wide angle. And if you go in the shadows, I think maybe the Pixel is handling it better. But look at this detail lost here. What's going on? And compare it with here. It looks normal on the Xiaomi, and the Pixel is doing something weird there. And yeah, let's take a look at the zoom. This is like, of course, too much zoom. But if you compare it like this, you have a bit of haziness going on here, a bit of a sharpness going on. But here it's yeah, it's also a bit over sharpened and much more natural looking, maybe a little bit overblown there. And let's go in roughly the same kind of, it's always hard. You can see that the pixel for split second is already at 5 times. It's holding up the crop from the main sensor there, and then a second later it's jumping, as you can see here, from this to this, because the lens, the 5x lens, is located somewhere else. And this is something that Xiaomi nicely has done. So when we take a look at the Xiaomi, you can see it's just like zooming in. So it switched lenses. Where is it? Here it is still the 1x crop, and there, 1x crop, and there. You see it smoothly, and it doesn't switch from one to another. And they achieve this by, yeah, they know where the lenses are located. It's hard to do, and they are like zooming in this direction so that the switch is not so noticeable. Yes, of course it is noticeable, because you can see a little bit overblown highlights there, a little less sharp, and then it gets sharp and the highlights are managed a bit better. But still, I think it's an issue with the Pixel, where I would say the Pixel is worse there. And yeah, let's compare it with the Oppo. And let's put the Oppo on the side and the Pixel on this side. And yeah, this is very comparable, I would say. I would even say that the Pixel looks maybe a bit better there, here in this shot, comparison to this shot. The Oppo maybe a slight bit, this is the Pixel, a slight bit less sharp. And yeah, when we go into the light, I think here we have this halo, we have this weird face color. Here it has, like the Xiaomi, a little bit issues with the light handling, especially here, where it doesn't look so good, but it's not doing the same weird thing that the Pixel is doing. And when the light finally changes, you can see that I think also this hot spots and red spots here that the Pixel is doing, it looks a bit worse than what the Oppo is doing. The Oppo is not perfect. I think the Xiaomi is doing it a bit better there, but it's also not overblowing the highlights too much there. So what do you think about those two here? And when we go to the ultra wide angle, okay, they're almost, I think, the same kind of ultra wide angle there, but yeah, look at the Pixel and look at the Oppo. The Oppo is much sharper towards the side, much sharper in the center. Even though the Oppo doesn't have the best ultra wide angle, it's beating the Pixel here in this regard in video. And yeah, we don't want to talk about the, should we talk, oh, let's take a look at the shadow area still quickly. I'm not even in the shadow area completely, but the zoom is again like this, and here we have very smooth zoom. I cannot, it's like hard to distinguish. Here you can see the switch from the 3x to the 6x. There's a little bit of blooming going on, but that's basically it. So yeah, the Oppo is still king. This is why, and this is like so smooth, like this zooming in, zooming out animation. And also it's not changing so quickly like the, here you can see the switch from there to here when it switches on the Pixel. So yeah, this is why the Oppo is king and number one there. And the Pixel, yeah, it improved a bit, definitely in terms of colors. So I think I could raise eventually the points there in video, but I have to check up on what the points are. I think 4.4, the same with the Xiaomi there. And I think maybe it will stay at 4.4 for the video. But they improved definitely stuff there with the video, but still the switching is a bit weird. At least the colors are looking a lot nicer than they looked before. So what do you think about the video improvements? What do you think about this side-by-side comparison and an update after a longer time? The Pixel 8 Pro again here for checking. Yeah. Now let's check out some photos, but in terms of photos, I will only check the 8 Pro versus the Xiaomi 14 Pro. Otherwise it would be a little bit too much work here and the video would be too long. Taking a look at the photos, we can see that there's a kind of a different sharpness level and color white balance. It's a bit warmer on the Xiaomi. The Xiaomi is now in Leica Authentic, as you can see. This is why you have slight vignetting. When you go in a little bit, you can see that the highlights and the colors are basically controlled very nicely, the highlights. It appears to be everything a bit sharper or sharpened up on the Google Pixel. So the background is sharp and the foreground is sharp and has slightly more contrast, where here it's a bit smoother on the Xiaomi, and sometimes appears a bit soft there on the foreground. And you can clearly see it here. The colors are on the Authentic pretty authentic, but the Google Pixel is no slouch either. You can see that the yellow here is a bit more pronounced on the Xiaomi. It's a bit dimmed down on the Pixel, where the Pixel is, I think, more correct when it comes to this kind of thing. The highlights here, it's a bit like overblown maybe on the Xiaomi, a bit brighter for sure, but you can see how much like editing the Pixel is doing to this image, so it looks like almost painted instead of like a photo, which the Xiaomi, it comes closer to, at least in my opinion. But yeah, this shot I think goes to the Pixel. Zoom shots is a clear win for the Pixel. This is 2x zoom, this is 2x zoom here. I think much more details on the Pixel there than on the Xiaomi, which is quite interesting there. And when we come to 5x, this is 3.5 times x. Even the 3.5 times x doesn't look as good as the 5x here. And when we go in 5x there, of course it gets very blurry. But this is all like authentic, and this is 10x, just forget about it. And ultra wide angle, however, also the same scenario that we saw with the main camera sensor, much more realistic colors on the Pixel. Look at the highlights blown out here. But when we go towards the edges, here comes the surprise, and where I think the Pixel shines now. It had a not so good ultra wide angle, especially in video you saw it. They corrected it a little bit. I think for photos they corrected it. It's much darker here, much brighter there. So it's doing a bit of better job there for sure on the Pixel. So I'm surprised that the Pixel is doing so good here. Look at this overblown one. It's also struggling a bit there. We see a bit of blooming, but it's not so overblown. But the colors are more correct there, where here everything's a bit too bright and yellowish there. This is with Leica Authentic again. Leica Vibrant now with the main camera sensor, just to show you a little bit of low light. It's hard in this daylight situation, but look at this here and compare it to this one here. Which one looks better there with the main camera with Leica Vivid on, which is, I think, also interesting. So we have some sharpening artifacts, I think, on the Pixel. It appears to be, at least on the bottle there. I'm not sure what this is on the bottle. You can see how much sharpen up the Pixel is doing there. Where here it is nice and smooth and readable. So yes, the sensor here on the Xiaomi is doing a better job, and the processing as well in this lower light situation. The rest here is also looking a little bit like processed on the Pixel still. It's much better looking on the Xiaomi. Main camera sensor bokeh. The Pixel is doing a lot of contrast, adding it to the shot there. And detail levels there, if you compare it here, you can see, here you see the difference. The bokeh is a bit nicer on the Xiaomi. It's a bit busier on the Pixel. The sharpness level in this photograph, I think the Xiaomi is also a bit better there. All over the place, the sharpness there, the bokeh, nice effects. You can see a little bit of spider net that I don't think you see here so much on the Xiaomi, which is quite interesting. Foliage and so on. This is like the overblown highlights that we have here, a little bit overblown highlights. Where here I think the Pixel is maintaining this a bit better there. But the sharpness and detail level is not so much there. Yes, the Pixel shot is very artistic, for sure, with the darker background, more contrasty background. Then when it comes to macro shots, definitely, it appears to be I can get a bit closer with the Pixel, but this is blurrier for sure. This is 2x zoom, and this is 3.2x zoom, which is like also crop on 2.8x macro, and yeah. Definitely Xiaomi is winning in terms of macro shots. And the main shot now, again, very interesting. I think the Pixel improved upon here, especially those high contrasty situation, also in the vivid mode here. You can see that it is looking a bit better there. It's sharper definitely on the Xiaomi, where the Pixel is quite soft, but the highlight control here on the green grass is much better than on the Xiaomi. So the Pixel, also here the highlights are controlled much better there. Even though the colors are not always right. It appears to be very natural looking on the Pixel, but because it was a very harsh sunlight, more towards the yellow side here, what we have on the Xiaomi is more correct, but more pleasing to the eyes, definitely the Pixel. I think I will raise the points of the Pixel for the main camera, because it's doing quite a good job there now with this kind of picture. It's still like doing a bit too much in terms of over sharpening things, but the colors are pleasant for sure. And then another ultra wide angle. We can see, yes, towards the sides it still has a little bit of issues with distortion, especially with if I have vivid mode, or what is it, vibrant mode, like a vibrant mode on the Xiaomi. It's correcting this quite nicely, where here there's not much of a difference, I have to say, between those two. Maybe the field of view is a bit of a different there. 12 versus 14 millimeters. This is definitely something that you will notice. So it's wider on the Pixel. But it's also more distorted then, of course. Detail levels in the middle. More sharpening up on the Pixel. Yeah, I think still that the Xiaomi is doing overall a little bit of a better job with the ultra wide angle. But yeah, they definitely improved the Pixel. Now a zoom test. This is 5x zoom here on the Pixel. This is 3.2 times zoom on the Xiaomi, the native zoom. If I go in here, you can see, yeah, it has more details. And when we go in even further, 10 times, it's now, let's do 5 times versus 5 times. Yes, the Pixel is winning. You can see it is not by a huge margin, because I think the Xiaomi also improved stuff there in terms of zooming, but yes, it's winning. And oops, and 10 times versus 10 times. This is 10 times here, and this is 10 times. This is a clear win for the Pixel. This was already known for the ranking system. So yeah, here the selfies. Front-facing camera, you can see what was the Pixel doing. This is interesting, because I think the Pixel is adding shadows and contrast again in order to control the highlights here, where the Xiaomi is not doing this for the front-facing camera. And yeah, detail level is 32 megapixels and the other one is 12. So if I go to the same kind of distance here, you can see I prefer the Xiaomi a bit more, because my face is evenly lit, and even though it might be not so realistic, but the highlight control, the reds, the weird sharpening things up there, I don't know, the shadow that it's adding there, so around my eyes and so on. I think the Xiaomi is doing a better job for selfies here, for sure. Eye colors and so on, you can see my eye color here, you don't see it. So yeah, I think the selfie I would give the Xiaomi for sure here. So this leads us to a new ranking for the Pixel 8 Pro. So let's check out the ranking. The ranking, the updated ranking for the Google Pixel 8 Pro, you can see I raised the points for the main camera photo quality 4.5 points now, because they got the colors more accurate, more right. They're looking very, very natural, which I like. Sometimes even tweaked a little bit to be looking a little bit too natural here and there, because sometimes the reality doesn't look like the Google made it out of it. However, what I'm not doing is raising it to 4.6 points, because we still have over sharpening and it still looks too artificial when you go to 100%. Same basically I have to say about the ultra wide angle. It's still soft towards the side. I think they optimized a lot there towards the side. This is why I'm raising the points, and they got the colors right here as well. And the HDR, the dynamic range, is also quite nice. So it is on par now, I think, with the Sony Xperia 1 Mark V and so on, which is, I think, good here. but it cannot surpass better ultra-wide angles for sure, even not the one of the Nubia Z60 Ultra. Zoom camera photo quality was already good, is good. I don't see much of an improvement here, to be completely honest with you, so I keep it at 4.3 points. Video recording quality, I think, is good. They improved a little bit upon the colors there as well, but it's not enough for me where I would say, okay, I raise it to 4.5 points here, because it still has some highlighting issues here and there. And the zoom, the zooming in to something is still problematic here. Everything else I kept the same, even the front-facing camera has the same kind of points. So we have in total 4.355 points. That leads us to a new score that makes it equal on the 14th spot with the Samsung Galaxy S23 Ultra. So it is surpassing the Xiaomi 14 Pro, even though the 14 Pro is quite good, sophisticated. I think the Google Pixel 8 Pro can keep up with the main camera sensor, and the ultra wide angle is quite similar here. We have a wider field of view on the Pixel 8 Pro, together with the more natural colors and photos. It is working quite nicely. The Xiaomi, however, is losing in terms of zoom details, and the rest, like video recording and autofocus performance, is the same there for sure as well. So the Google Pixel 8 Pro, as you can see here, 4.355 points, the same as the Galaxy S23 Ultra. The S23 Ultra has a worse main camera sensor, has a worse ultra wide angle, has a way better zoom camera. This is where it shines. Has almost the same kind of video performance, and autofocus performance is the same. Has a better front-facing camera for sure, and in terms of features, it offers a little bit more than the Google Pixel 8 Pro. Still, the Pixel 8 Pro managed to go and climb the rank here, and it's biting already in terms of points. Like you can see, 0.05 points behind the Magic 5 Pro in my ranking system. So it's climbing up there. Google made some great improvements there for sure. As I don't have the Magic 5 Pro anymore, I cannot compare it with the Pixel 8 Pro directly. The only thing I can do is like compare also on the 13th spot the Magic 4 Ultimate that I still have to later eventually see, after all the updates come for the Magic 4 Ultimate as well, if we see a big improvement here between those. I'm a bit disappointed by the Xiaomi 14 Pro, because I think they also optimized a little bit there, especially in terms of video. I think it got a little bit better there with the highlight control and so on. Maybe I will redo a test with some other devices to see if I can raise the points of the 14 Pro as well there. So far, I'm pretty happy, however, with all of them in terms of video performance. I would keep all of them in terms of video performance. Only downside for the 14 Pro, and what's keeping it back, is the bad audio quality from the external mic. If they could fix it, of course I can use third-party applications, but in the native camera app you get the best stabilization still. So that's it for this short little video. Yes, the Pixel 8 Pro in August 2024 climbed up my ranks here on the 14th spot together with the S23 Ultra. What do you think about this findings here? Write it on the comment section if you have some questions as well. Until the next time.